Welcome again, dear listeners, to Miss Wordsmith's Library. Tonight's story is one I've entitled Shadows. Please enjoy. There is a time of day that only lasts a few minutes, a time between sunset and the first rays of moonlight, when there is a moon anyway. This time of day is easy to miss if you don't pay enough attention, since it only lasts about 3 minutes at most, and some days it might not even happen. This time of day is the shadows time, when there is just enough light and just enough darkness that the world around you appears to be made up of shadows, as though for a brief moment in time, two worlds have merged. What does this have to do with anything, you ask? Well, it's the only time of day you might be lucky, or unfortunate enough to see a shadow. I don't mean your average, ordinary, everyday kind of shadow. No, I'm talking about a different kind of shadow. These shadows are one of many creatures that are known by many different names around the world. Boogeyman, spirit, shade, imp, devil, or fairy, to name a few. These shadows are more common than you might think. They are everywhere. They can only freely roam at night. During the day, they hide from the light in places that would surprise you the most. In the shadows of buildings, trees, and vehicles. Sometimes in the shadows of animals or furniture. In your closet or under your bed. Even in your own shadow. Don't worry though, most of them are very docile and are relatively harmless mischief makers. The ones who occasionally move just a bit in the corner or sit just right on something in the dark to change its appearance, just to pull your leg. Don't bother trying to catch them in the act. They are literally living shadows who could just be 4 feet away, staring right at you. Yes, they can be the culprits behind the occasional feeling of being watched as well, but you'll never see them, even when you're looking right at them. They generally can't do things like make noise or move things around. They aren't poltergeists, after all, just shadows. Normally the docile ones do nothing but peacefully go on with their lives, sometimes taking a liking to a particular daytime hiding place. Not that you would ever know, as they wouldn't make their presence known. The mischievous ones could take up residence with you, but it would still be impossible to tell, since your mind and eyes do play tricks on you. The most harm these ones will ever do to you is to your nerves and toes once in a while. Now you know why you didn't see that random object in your way in the dark. Unless it really was only the darkness and your poor decision to not turn on the light. The rare ones that cause more serious trouble will do so in one of 2 ways. They will cause you to see things that go beyond just thinking that hat in the corner just moved. They'll make you see things like the shadows of hands reaching for you, figures standing in corners, or headless figures sitting at your table. These things, however, will still be manipulations of the shadows of things in and around your house. Things that could still just be your rampant imagination. These things will either be the cause of paranoia, or of your repeated falling down stairs or tripping over things, landing flat on your face in the dark. Those falls could lead to some nasty injuries, but just remember, they can't physically touch you, just maybe breathe on you a bit. Yes, they are at times also responsible for the random chill you may get that makes you twitch uncontrollably for a split second. What is the other way in which they can cause more serious trouble? Oh yes, I almost forgot. They can kidnap people. Yes, they are responsible for some of the unexplained disappearances that have occurred over the centuries. Not all unexplained disappearances, of course, just a handful. While these shadows can't touch you normally, sometimes exceptions can be made, such as if one becomes a child's imaginary friend, or when you can't stand the feeling of being watched anymore, or think you see a figure and call out something like, "Who's there?" or even simply look back to see if someone is really there. Of course, in all likelihood, no one will answer, and obviously you wouldn't see them. But simply acknowledging them can be enough at night or in a dim enough place to grant them permission to mess with you further. Sort of like inviting a vampire into your home. Don't be too concerned. Mostly an acknowledged shadow will simply run away because, well, you just scared the wits out of the poor thing. The ones who want to do harm, though, will not leave. They will now be the cause of the occasional sensation of something crawling on you or poking you with a needle. The harassment never really goes too far beyond things that could just be your overactive imagination. So you will never really know if you're just being silly or if one of them is picking on you. They will also make very low and quiet sounds, still never going too far past what your own imagination, settling old house, or any other innumerable things could make. So you couldn't tell the difference. This is how they abduct you, doing these little things and making you believe that you really just heard something outside, so you'll investigate because it sounds like the neighbor's stupid dog rummaging through your garbage again. Or maybe your friend is calling for you around the corner, so naturally you go to see what they need. It'll be the need to get your mind off the sensations and sounds that finally makes you willing to investigate, to prove to yourself that it's all in your mind, only to walk right into the shadow's grasp. Don't be fooled into thinking keeping the lights on keeps this from happening. As long as there's enough shadow nearby, they'll be there, watching and waiting. Nobody knows what will happen when a shadow is away. Just that you'll never be seen or heard from again, but that doesn't necessarily mean it will have killed you. Who knows? Maybe there's another plane of existence the shadows come from, and you'll be one of the lucky, or unfortunate, few who get to see it. Don't worry, though. More than likely, it's all just your imagination, your mind and eyes playing tricks on you. Even the shadow behind you that just twitched. Well, dear listeners, I hope you enjoyed tonight's story. Please stay tuned for more tales from my library. Until next time.